Right. There we go. That's live now. All right, lads. Evening. Sunday night, actually. Live. All right. I said I'd do it. We getting it. Let's get the chat. Let's get a few people in the chat. Let's get into this, see how it goes. We got a few in here already. Big up to you guys. Big up to everyone. There we go. There we go. Right. So, gotta talk about the fights last night first. So, we had Conor Ben, Joe Joyce, and Fabio Wardley, right? Now that's loads of people in that post-fight video. I've seen a few people say it as well, like in the highlights, and a few people in other guys' channels as well, say that they thought Richard Latte took a dive. Can't see it. Can't see that being a dive. Did not look like a dive to me. Don't know what you guys think, but as far as I was concerned, right, Richard Latte, he had one good performance against Daniel Dubois, right? And he did, like, obviously he lost that fight, but he kind of, I think, gassed us all a bit by how well he did against Dubois, to the point where we were all kind of looking at it thinking, hey, this guy, he ain't bad, you know. I mean, like, he could be a tough night's work. I think we know now Richard Latte is pretty, yeah, he ain't, he ain't great. To be fair, right? It looked like a genuine knockout to me. See who we have in the chat. Oh, all right, we got a few lads in the chat. So obviously, got a big all you guys up. Hell, why isn't that showing the chat? There we go. Don't know why that wasn't shown. Hashtag G-Man's Watch. Good evening. Touch gloves and fight on. There we go. There we go. We hit 3K last night, so we are all good to go. Big Dan, CGB. Why is this so fucking slow? There we go. Looking forward to this. Yeah, big up, Rich, big up Devon. Every single time. Oh, we got a few people in the chat. Good evening, lads. Buzzy Git, how are you doing? Man, I hit 3K last night. I think I'm on 3,030 now, or 3,000. Yeah. I think, how many am I on now? I think bang on 3,330. Yeah, bang on 3,030. So that's all good. It's all good. But yeah, it's good, man. Sunday we do a live stream. Let's bring the old camera in. I always do these on the couch, man. It's 10 times easier to do these live streams on the couch than to do them on the normal seat. Always. But AAA, big up to you. Man, we got broken nose in the building. Big up to Chris every single time. Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. Big up to Joe every single time. Big up to you, man. Every time. Love having you in the chat. Tony in the chat. How you doing, G-Man? Congrats on 3K. Man, I'm fucking brilliant. It didn't take me long to swear in this, actually. Did take me long to swear in this live stream. That's the one thing about the live stream. I always swear, like, all the time. I always swear in the live streams. I always try not to as well. I always try to be a bit more behaved. That ain't gonna happen. Congrats on 3. We got Cash in the chat, man. Big up. Constantinus, good morning from Australia. Hashtag G-Man's Rocks. You gotta love that. You gotta get that trending. Always love it. Funny as fuck, that hashtag G-Man's Rocks. You know? You gotta go. Hashtag G-Man's Rocks. Love getting that trend. But big up to you. Big up the hashtag G-Man's Rocks. Big up to Dingo. Congrats on 3K. 3,000 subs. Wow, here's to many more. That's exactly it, man. That's exactly. I stayed up last night, watched a couple of movies right after. That's how you celebrate 3K, by the way. You watch a couple of movies and you stay up till like 3 in the morning. And I'm fucking. That's why I said I'm not going to stay on any. What the fuck? A bit glitchy there. I hope to God this doesn't lag, because I've been having like a bit of lag issues today. I don't know what's going on. I was thinking of resetting everything, but hopefully that stays all right, lads. All right. Canelo Plant, Canelo Andre, Canelo Charlo are the fights I'd like for Canelo. What do you think, G-Man? Right. So out of those 3, I think the one, I think from an entertainment point of view, the one I'd most like to see would be Canelo versus Charlo. Just I think that's entertaining. So I think that would be entertaining. I think Charlo would hype it. I'd pick Canelo to win that fight, but I think Charlo would hype it. You know, Jamal Charlo, I think that right. People always say to me that they think Jamal is better, right? But here's what I think, right? I think Jamel. Look at Jamel early on in his career, right? When he was fighting guys like what's that guy's name? Martirosian. And he was fighting guys like John Jackson. He was looking a bit shaky, and again against Austin Trout, right? He's improved a lot since then. Whereas Jamal's always been good, right? He's always been a good fighter. So I think that we're looking at Jamal and we're seeing how much he's improved. Whereas Jamal's always been a good fighter. Like I've always found Jamal Charlo very, very good fighter. So I think he'd give Canelo some problems. Canelo will win. I think that Plant would be cannon fodder late on in that fight. Yeah, Caleb Plant is good. He's a mover. He's a real good mover. But look at his stamina late on in the fight. He just doesn't have it, and he gets tagged a lot. Like look when he fought Uskas. Is it Uskatski or Uskatiki? He got a bit tired late on in that fight, and that was when he really having issues. And I mean, he just, if you were to think if that's Canelo and he starts lighting them up, he's gonna be in trouble. Last but not least, Andre. Do you know what? I used to be so high on Andre, and I still am to an extent. But for some reason, lately he's just been, his career has just been, it's just been all over the place. You know, it's been such a stop-start career. It's just been a pain watching it lately. So I don't know. I think that I think he's missed his best years. I'm seriously thinking that. I mean, like, look at his last few opponents. One against Canandakwa. Then he just fought like Danny Jacobs and Billy Joe Saunders leftovers. Like literally, there who he fought. He fought that guy Selecki, beat him. Danny Jacobs already beat him. Fought that Akabov guy, Billy Joe beat him a couple of years ago. Fought Luke Keeler, and he was going to fight this guy in a non-title fight. The guy caught a cold or something like that, and then they had to pull him out. So, man, it's bullshit. Gee, man, what do you think of the new Nike boxing boots? I haven't seen them, to be honest with you, man. Pretty much, man, since I stopped boxing, I don't really look at like boxing gear anymore. Like when I was like in the gym last year and the year before, and I was just like boxing a lot, I used to always look at boxing gear. I'd look at like the Everlast shoes. I'd look at like some of the Nike shoes, like the boxing boots and stuff like that. I'd look at gloves. Whereas now it's like I don't look at any of that stuff. I don't look at any of that gear. I just kind of, because I'm not going to need it. So what's the point? I don't see the point in using it. So I've kind of gone like that where like I don't need it. So I don't really look at it anymore, to be fair. I might have a glance at them and see what they're like. To be fair, he was catching Wardley. Yeah, he was. He was. You know, Latte's okay, but I definitely think that, people maybe got a bit gaslighted by him. Again, he done that good performance against Dubois. And I think we kind of all expected a little bit, we maybe expected a little bit too much from him, subsequently, with regards to everything. But yeah. It was a legit knockout for me, definitely. He did. It was a legit knockout for me. You seen Spence open workout for Garcia. His form and everything looks the same, but he was talking about since the crash, his shoulder and hips pain sometimes. Yeah, I did. I did see Spence. Spence looks good. Like, lad, Spence looks in good nick. He does. But here's the thing, right? It's all well and to look in good nick, right? We won't know until the bell rings and we see him in there against Danny Garcia. That's when we'll know what's really up with Errol Spence, because we can suspect, you've some people who are saying, oh, no. Spence is the same as always. The car crash, it didn't do anything. It's this, that, and the other. But at the same time, you're like, lads, right? And sorry, Ty, I'll click on that now in a sec. I want this off the chat when I'm doing this. Big up to you. I'll click on it now in a sec. Lads, if you remember, like, you can still watch that clips of that car crash, right? That was a seriously bad car crash. I'm telling you now, I can't see it. There's no way in hell he's not going to have some residual damage. I think that the minute he gets in there and he maybe gets clipped with a decent shot from Garcia, not to say his punch resistance is going to go necessarily. I think maybe the demons are going to come back into his head. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll only find out when he's in there with Garcia. But on reflection, it's looking okay. It's looking okay. Like, I think he's going to box cautiously. I think irrespective of the car crash, he would box Danny Garcia. He wouldn't really engage him. But I definitely think he's going to box him now. And big up to Tony. Salute to G-Man in the chat. Hashtag G-Man's rocks. Big up to you. Big up to my name is Mert. Hashtag, great name. Hashtag G-Man's rocks. I want Canelo versus Bivol. That's a good fight, man. Bivol will give him some problems, serious problems. Man, Bivol will give Canelo some Bivol give anyone at 168 or 175 a hard night work, I think anyway. Battle of the altar, Babbage versus Wilder. Man, the press conference would be good, but you give it to Wilder, man. Babbage, fun to watch, but he would get lifted off the ground by Deontay Wilder. Even now, he'd get absolutely lifted off the ground by Wilder. Andre is a massive underachiever. He is he's a two-weight world champion, right? He is. But he could have done way more, so much more, way more in his career. He could have done so much more. Like, he had those, I remember when he fought Brian Rose. And Brian Rose was never that good to begin with, but he looked so good in that fight. They had that promotional fallout with Top Rank. Then I saw him against Willie Nelson back in 2016, and he still looked to be really good. Willie Nelson is a really, really big check my text there. Yeah, Willie Nelson's a really big 6'3", 154 pounder, and Demetrius Andre just, he played with him. But you see, when you look at that fight, right? That fight went 12 rounds. Andre stopped him in the 12th. And you kind of got the impression, even then, that this guy wasn't a finisher, because he had Willie Nelson damn near out of there in the first couple of rounds. And he couldn't finish him. That's one thing about Andre. He's just not a finisher. Like, he really could have got Luke Keeler out. Big up to Luke Keeler as well every time. But he could have got Luke Keeler out of there a lot quicker than he did. And I think he could have got a lot of guys out there a lot quicker than he did. Like, he'd Cannon Dock down 4 times. And that fight went 12 rounds. So, nah. Is Billy Ryan from the Anglo-Saxon mission still alive? I'm not sure. All right, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think he is. I think I've heard people say that he's dead. And if anyone wants to know, you look up Project Avalon, because if you look up that Anglo-Saxon missing Bill Ryan on YouTube, you won't find it. You have to look up Project Anglo-Saxon or Project Avalon. I'm pretty sure he's dead, though. I'm pretty sure he is. Behind Canelo, I think Plant is the next best super middleweight. Yep, he is indeed. I would say Plant's the next best at 168. Don't forget the S in G-Man's rocks. Never forget the S in G-Man's rocks. Always G-Man's rocks. Always get the S in there. Yes. What do you think? Who do you think Joyce fight next if he beats Dubois? Man, Frank Warren is going to absolutely... man, he is going to sell the shit out of Dubois if he beats Joe Joyce. Would he risk it? I think that it kind of all depends on how the WBO situation with AJ and Usyk goes. Because I think that if put it like this, right? If Anthony Joshua can't get the Fury fight and he has to defend against Usyk, I think he will. But if he goes for the Fury fight, I can see Usyk really just digging his heels and saying, no, I want my shot. I wouldn't be. You see, some people would be like, oh, yeah, but you couldn't put him in there with Usyk that soon. Well, he is number 2 ranked by the WBO, so he would be inclined to face him next. And it's calculated, it's educated. I mean, think of it like this. Look when AJ fought Vladimir Klitschko, right? He won that fight. But if he had lost it, right, they have the perfect excuse, it's too early. Even though AJ was a world champion at the time, you could easily just turn around and be like, you know what? He lost to Klitschko way too early in his career. We can regroup. We can do this. They can do something similar. They'll probably do the exact same with Dubois if he fights Usyk. They probably would. Genuinely, they probably would try and get him a world title fight, because you can't go from fighting the Joe Joyce back to fighting Ebenezer Tetes and, Richard Lattes and what's that guy's name? Fujimoto. You can't get away with that. You can't get away with fighting guys like that again. So they'll probably try and, build and gradually. They might try and take, God knows who, someone like a Christian Hammer or someone like that, maybe. But even then, you'd expect better. But they'll definitely probably try and go for world honors. Big up to Darren, the big cactus. I love that. It's funny as shit, man. Big Boys Boxing. Shout out to Big Boys. Excellent channel. Does good live streams as well. Streams fight night as well, which I like watching now and again. Sup all. Hope everyone is safe and well. We all good, bro. We all good. Andre's career is totally stagnant. How old is he now? If he isn't 30 yet, he's close to. Oh, man, he's older than 30. No, he's older than 30. Jesus, no, he's definitely older than 30. Demetrius Andre, I forget how old he is. What's your take on Savage fight with Little? Yeah, look, he did what he had to do. You know, he was always going to win. Tom Little, the fire went out of him. You know, when he fought Majimov, you know, he didn't want any part. Like he didn't want any parts of that fight. I don't think he wanted any parts of this fight either. He can't. I think he wanted parts of it until he realized what he had to do, and then he was like, "Ah, fuck this. I'm not sticking around." I think that's kind of what happened there. You know, I think that's what happened there. In terms of everything else, like I mean, Babbage, put it like this, right? Little gave the best account of himself, you know, in terms of like what he did with Babbage. Like he done better than Kennedy, irrespective of what I think of Kennedy. He done better than Kennedy, and he done better than Winters. All right, that's fair to say. That's fair to say. How did Canelo's fight game improve after the Mayweather fight? He came of age, like his head movement improved. Like even as far back as 2016, his head movement wasn't as good as it is now. You know, that was 3 years removed from the Floyd fight. So his head movement's improved. His, you know, back foot game's improved. His front foot he's improved a lot, you know, but especially his head movement. His head movement is fantastic these days, Canelo. And like Danny Jacobs couldn't land jabs on Canelo. You know, that's how good his head movement is. Why does no one talk about Dave Benavidez? No, Benavidez is a good fighter, Ben, but I think we don't talk about him because we kind of get a bit sick of some of the things. You know, he's missed weight a couple of times. He's had issues with, you know, failing PED. Well, that wasn't actually technically a PED. He failed drugs test for cocaine. You know, he's had all these opportunities, and he just seemed like his last fight, he was overweight by a couple of pounds, and he didn't look in good shape at all. So I think that's why we don't talk much about Benavidez, because we just kind of look at him, we're just like, for fuck's sake, you kind of squander in a couple of things. Like, you know, you're talented, but you just wonder, how serious does he take it? I think that's why we don't talk much about Benavidez. You much prefer. I like the old. Yeah. I don't have them, but I like the look of them. I like the old hyper. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different boot. If you're talking about the hyper KOs that like fighters like Frampton and all use, I don't like those. I never liked them. I like the more plain Nike boots, boxing boots. Big up to Intangible every time. Big up to you, my friend. I hope you all good. Hope you all good. And check Intangible out, by the way, if you haven't already. 45 in the chat. How many likes do we have? I'm gonna ask how many likes do we have? 45 in the chat, 24 likes. You could smash the like button. Greatly appreciate it, lads. Just it helps get the channel out there because it bigs up the algorithms and all that. Like the algorithms have been, you know, pretty kind to me lately. Very kind to me lately. They've been very good to me. I've been growing a lot lately. If Joyce can survive the first four, Daniel Dubois not got bad stamina either. He doesn't. So I can easily see. In fact, I actually want to know. Like, pop it in the comments, right? 43 in the chat. 43 of you in the chat. Just pop it in the chat who you think is going to win this fight this weekend. Method, whatever. But just, I want to get a general idea because, man, when this fight was first announced, everyone I knew was saying Dubois. Now I go into like panels and stuff like that, and I listen to people's live streams, and a lot of them are saying Joyce. Like, you know, I know D is saying Joyce. I think Beats is saying Joyce. I want to know what most people think, what the general consensus is on this fight. So I'd be interested to know what you guys in the chat think. How many people think Babbage beats Hrgovic? Oh, I sure as hell don't. Surely not. Babbage gets eyes. Yeah, I don't see him beating Hrgovic. Babbage, I think, look, right, Babbage wants to fight a heavyweight, right? But look at him against Tom Little. You saw he was a lot more fleshy. He was noticeably fleshier in that fight. I think he realizes that he's not a heavyweight. He's not a heavyweight, and he's just trying to pack on whatever weight in any way he can. Because he looked noticeably fleshier in the middle area than he did in the first fight. That he did like when he fought Kennedy. Oh man, Beterbiev's a fighter whose career has been absolutely messed around. Like, yeah, he's number one at light heavyweight, but he should have had more fights, bigger paydays. And he's getting on. He's getting older. You know, he's getting older there. Thank you. Anytime, man. I'll big you up anytime. Big up anyone. Dean O'Donnell. I thought Adam Boot was decent commentator last night. He's better than what Sky have. I thought Adam Boot was great last night. And Adam Boot, man, big up to Adam Boot every time. Do you know what, right? He has a gym in the UK. And the next time I'm in the UK, if I'm anywhere near his gym, I'm going to train in there. Because it's open to the public. And Adam Boot, I've always felt as a trainer, maybe he gets a little bit too much credit. But as a person, Adam Boot, stand-up guy ever I seen one. All right? Adam Boot, absolute stand-up guy. Don't know him, never met him, but just go on his Twitter and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Real, proper stand-up guy. Yeah, Adam Boot is a class guy. He really is. Real stand-up guy. His boxing skills went to a whole new level. If are we talking about Ben? You like Boot? Oh yeah, Tyen Boot and Adam Boot would be great. Oh man, poor Coogan. Tyen Boot, TFL TV, poor Coogan. Did anyone actually see the interview that Boxing Social did with Adam Smith from Sky about the price hike on the AJ Ruiz or AJ Poulet pay-per-view? Man, Rob Tebert, he is, for my money, Rob Tebert, bar none, is the best interviewer in boxing. All right, he really is. You should, if you haven't seen it, you skip to about 25 minutes in. I mean, I was taken aback. He was roasting Adam Smith. It wasn't roasting, he was grilling him about the hike in the pay-per-view prices, and he was saying about basically that, you said that AJ versus Ruiz 2 was a once in a lifetime event. That's why you were charging that price. Why are you charging it now? And he was like, oh, because this is kind of a once in a lifetime event. They were like, no, but it's a mandatory defense. And it was like Adam Smith, you could tell was really like, he was really not enjoying it. And, I got a big up Rob Tebert. He wasn't letting them away with it. He kind of was saying like, look, we'd love to take these fights on like Lomachenko, Lopez, but we can't because of this. And like Rob was like, no, I'm not asking about that. I'm asking, why are you charging this in these times? And man, it was brilliant. But Rob Tebert is just, man, I can't big Rob Tebert up enough. Absolutely great interviewer he is. And, that was his first, the amazing thing is that was his first time in the bubble at Matchroom. And like, he was he was coming out asking the questions. So I hope that he's back in the bubble because he deserves it. And if they don't bring him back in over that, well, F them. What do you think of Bridgeweight, the name of the division? It's a stupid name. It's WBC. Look, they're naming it after a kid who I think he was attacked by a dog. And like, the poor kid, I hope the kid's okay. But like, the WBC are the most virtue signaling, I think is how I describe it in terms of the sanctioning bodies. They're the most they're out there for the public, if you know what I mean. Like, look in May of this year, they were giving out heroes of the world to certain fighters and certain people in boxing, right? And there were certain people they gave that award out to who were anything but heroes, and I'm sure people probably know what I'm talking about, who were anything but heroes, and they weren't doing anything special. And the WBC were acting like they were. So the WBC just virtue signaling. That's all they do. And this is just for money. That's all it is. They just want more money. And that weight division is going to flop. All right. That weight division, no one's going to fucking want to fight for it. No one's going to want to use. No one's going to want to watch it. It'll flop. And the other sanctioned bodies won't go along with it. If it went successful, they would. But if it's not, they're not going to go along with it. Great work, G-Man. Big up to Jeff. Is Ben ever going to be more than British champion? I don't think. Sorry, 1 sec. Something came up on screen there. Yep. I don't think Tony Sims is confident he can win a world title either. Well, I don't think, and I said, look, I could be proven wrong, but I don't think Conor Ben will win a world title necessarily. But I see that a lot of people were impressed. I was impressed. I didn't think he had a performance like that in him. I really didn't. Like, I'd seen Conor Ben, box very silly in the past, where he just wanted to have a tear up, and it was like an ego thing. It was like he was wanting to be, the tough guy on the street who's going in, being macho. I think that Payne fight really did frighten him into action. I really do think it did. In terms of world title, look, I picked Chris Congo over him, but they're not going to make that fight. Chris Congo's not a massive name. Kelly Evanesian, I mean, they might possibly do that. I would probably pick Kelly to beat, Conor Ben. But look, Kelly is no great shakes. Go watch his fight against Ray Robinson. He lost that fight. He lost that fight, and I think he knows it. He lost that fight. I'm going with Avanesian all the way when they fight. All the way. What do you think UK boxing would be without Eddie Hearn? I don't think. I don't want to think where it'd be without Eddie Hearn. I really don't, man. I really don't want to think what UK boxing would be without Eddie Hearn, because you can criticize him and you can look. Eddie Hearn's done a lot of things to warrant criticism, but fuck, UK boxing was in a dog state before like the guys like Carl Froch. Maybe maybe it still would have been good even if he hadn't come across or he hadn't have, started, taking over Matchroom, but he's done a lot of good for British boxing. You got to give him that. Well, Canelo is immortal if it goes to points and no fair judges. Yeah, Canelo has although to be fair, on those DAZN cards, ever since he signed with DAZN and he had those two fights on DAZN that went late, the Jacobs fight and the Kovalev fight, the cards have been closer. We haven't seen any crazy scorecards anyway. Canelo's development is crazy. How he's once fighting at 140, now he's a massive. I mean, yeah. Canelo turned pro at 15. Like, look, put it like this. Put it in context. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., right, is a cruiserweight. He turned pro at 130 pounds. So it just goes to show how. And look, you can look that up. He did turn pro at 130 pounds. So it just goes to show how big some of these guys can be. You feel Joyce will win this? Could be. Mr. Man Mac, honestly, I don't think Babbage exciting to watch at all. I find him fun to watch. I think he is quite fun to watch, to be fair. I do give him that. I think he is quite fun to watch. Yeah, Canelo turned pro at 15, you wait. Yeah, you see people get heavier naturally. They do. And Canelo's just, bulked up. I think, well, I mean, when I was, I can't remember what I was when I was 15. I don't even remember what I was. Usyk had an interview on his channel and he said he took, wow, really? Jesus. So he really wanted to get out. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, he really did take it. I knew he'd take a hit. They would have had to. But he really wanted to get that fight. You think Dubois is speed does Joyce? Do Joyce? You think he stops Joyce, you mean? Conor Ben was impressed. Yeah, he was. Eager to see how his career develops. Very impressed, so I was with Conor Ben. Very impressed I was. Big up to Tony every time. Big up to my man Tony. Salute G-Man and the chat room. Smash the like button and show support. We got a big Tony up every single time, man. One of the regulars in here. Great guy. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Big up to you. Sagan Peters versus Anthony Yarde. Do you think Fish Eyes would allow that fight, or do you see Anthony Yarde going after his next fight? Well, I have to admit, I haven't seen that guy, so I can't comment on him. But I really don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do with Yarde after he fights Arthurs. I suspect he'll beat him. They might try and look at putting him in there back at world level. They might look at the winner of Joe Joyce versus Vaskov or Valov. I forget how you pronounce it. Maxim Vaskov or something like that. That's a good fight. I'll go with Joe Smith in that fight. But that's a good fight, actually. It's a real good fight. It's a really good fight. That guy was very good. Vaslov, he was real good at 200 when he was fighting a cruiserweight. Real good. So I wonder how strong he is at this weight. I wonder how strong he is. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. There you go. Oh, no. Fuck James Wilson. Oh, no. No, man. James Wilson's garbage. James Wilson. James Wilson, right? I'd imagine James Wilson's not that good. But if you put him in there with anybody with a flipping pulse and he went more than a couple of rounds, that guy would be blow. Like, I mean, he's a cruiserweight and he's about 50 pounds worth of muscle on him that shouldn't be there. Like, he looks good aesthetically. And, if you see him like in some of those clips where he's hitting the pads, he looks good. But damn, the guy, no. But he'd get lit against Babbage. With regards Gorman, I'd probably go with Gorman. I'd probably go with Gorman if he was lighter. I'd go with Gorman. Yeah, Andre's 32. I know, that's crazy. Man, time flies. You think time flies? Fuck, man. Time flies, man. I was looking at some old pictures today. Some old pics I have on my phone, right? And like, obviously before I was doing YouTube and stuff like that. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, holy shit, they're like 5 years ago, stuff like that. And I was like, how the fuck? And I never at the time would have ever thought I'd be doing YouTube like 5 years later, like, and having a channel with a good following. Like, I never thought that. Like, I mean, it was fucking insanity. Like when I look back at some of these old picks, I'm like, what the fuck? I look kind of similar, to be fair, in those old picks. My hair was a little bit more all over the place because I had no reason to really cut it. But yeah, man, it's crazy how times change. But yeah, Andre, 32. You see, my biggest fear is that he's stagnant now. Like his opponents have been so weak, and he's not fought anyone who can really test them. That his chances for development are gone, and he's making bad habits now because he's going in there against guys. He should be getting rid of them, and he is, to be fair, getting rid of some of them. But he's not got the killer instinct, and he's just happy to go in there and point himself to a victory. Like what I mean is box himself to a point victory, I should say. Bavic versus Vac. Yeah, yeah, that actually wouldn't be bad. Actually, Vac has the like Vac has a chin. They talk about Dave Allen's chin. Look at Marcus Vac. MVG, Michael Van Gerwen, what's up? Saw an article that Julio Cesar Martinez might fight in the Canelo undercard. That would be good. I would like to see, and I love Martinez. Love Martinez. Just checking the chat there. I think Canelo's going to bust up Smith. Yep. Really watch the Smith Ryder fight. Yeah, I reckon that. I reckon Smith's going to. I reckon he's going to get stopped. I reckon he's going to get stopped. But it's a good fight, though. I'm still looking forward to it. I mean, if Smith decides to box, it could be interesting. I'm sure Canelo's team are taking that into consideration. What do you reckon of Sonny Edwards' ability? I think he's fantastic boxing skills. Yeah, look, whatever you want to say about Edwards, about him and his brother Charlie, they do worry me a bit, those boys, with the way, and I say boys, I think they're both older than me, but just the way they present themselves is a bit off. But Sonny Edwards is skilled. He is good. He is a good fighter. I'll give him that. Who's Triple G fighting? Yeah, he's a Polish guy. I think he's his mandatory. I know that, but I forget the guy's name. He's not a puncher either, so he's only got like 6 or something knockouts. Controversial opinion. Boxing fans used to phrase underrated and overrated too much. I don't think we do. I think it's fair when we use those terms, underrated and overrated. Like if you look at Mike Tyson, you could say he was overrated. And I think that's fair because, like, who was his best win? Larry Holmes. And when Mike Tyson was on the decline, who did he ever beat who was in their prime? Lennox Lewis was way past his best when he fought Klitschko, but he beat him. Thoughts on Dennis McCann as well. McCann is, for my money, best prospect in the UK, bar none. Best prospect for me in the UK. When I watched him the first time was last year. I think he was only 18. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this kid's only 18. He is going to go to the moon and back, I think. He is going to go places. Salute the Broken Nose. Big up the Broken Nose every time. If you haven't subscribed to him already, you're missing out. Great content. Done a video on Mike Tyson and Roy Jones today. Tale of the Tates. I watched that. Big up to you, my friend, for that. So here we go. Dubois on points. Man, I'm late getting to these chats. Apologies, people. Dubois on points. Dubois. Joyce. Dubois. These are questions. I asked everyone who I think is going to win the fight. So you're going Dubois. Dubois will edge it. You'll be honest, you think Joyce. General consensus is Dubois. Joyce. Hashtag G-Man's Rocks. Big up. It's Dubois for you. Devon Sinclair thinks, wow, Joe Joyce KO in round 7. Could happen. Could happen, man. Think Joyce has a real chance. The general consensus is, basically judging from that Dubois is the favorite based upon, but here we go again. We've got Joyce. We got some big cactus saying Joyce. We got Helm saying Dubois. Dubois stops Joyce. Okay. Who else? Dubois too fast for Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce too easy to hit but has a chin. It's an interesting one, lads. It's an interesting one. So most people are going with Daniel Dubois to win. Just judging by the chat there, that's what most people are going with. What belt does Golovkin hold these days? Heard nothing of him. Yeah, he's an IBF title. Got a feeling, Joyce, but crude but effective. Tank gain a grip. Tank gain a grip. Great name. You don't know, you're on defenses. Oh, Joe, I missed yours. Apologies. Dubois stops Joe on his feet. So the general consensus is that Joyce or that Dubois is the favorite, slight favorite. Is anyone else offended that Skyer and Eddie Hearn are charging 25? They're not charging 25k. They're charging £25. But yeah, that's, well, it's 27, nearly €28 here. 27, nearly €28 here. What I will say, as many of you will know, it'll be cracking. That is all I will say on AJ Pulev. It'll be cracking all the way. Even though I can afford it, it'll be cracking. It'll be cracking. I'll leave it there. Genuinely on the fence. Yeah, a lot of people are. The Boxing Social interview was class. Really put it on Smith multiple times. He really did. That interview, like Rob Tebbert. And what I like, look, again, I can't not big up Rob Tebbert enough, because he was in that bubble for the first time. You know, Coogan and all those guys, they wouldn't. They might ask him. They might ask Adam Smith about it, but not in a way that Rob Tebbert was like. And what I love about Rob Tebbert is he even said it himself. He's like, he'd feel like he wouldn't be doing his job if he didn't get all details and ask all questions and really delve in. And you could tell that Adam Smith was getting uncomfy in that interview. You could tell he was really getting uncomfy in that interview. And, you know, Rob Tebbert was just calm, measured, just, nope, this is how it is. I'm asking the questions, and, you know, brilliant. Big up. Adam Boot is way better than Harley Quinn. He is. He is better than Harley Quinn. He is much better than Harley Quinn. Big up Tebbert. He's a class interviewer. Asked the real questions. Do you know what? I really hope that's not. I really hope they let him back in. Oh, he deserves it. Like Boxing Social, 100,000 subs, great interview platform. You know, Boxing Social for me, like Rob Tebbert, best interviewer in boxing. I would be so pissed off if they don't let Rob Tebbert and Boxing Social back in to do interviews, just because he asked Adam Smith a few hard questions. I mean, what, like, put it this right. If I was interviewing Adam Smith, I'd ask him the same. I might not grill him as much as Rob Tebbert, because I think Rob Tebbert is just a better interviewer than me, and he just has a bit more experience in it. But, you know, as he said himself, he wouldn't feel like he wasn't doing his job if he didn't ask the hard questions. I'm glad he did. And it's a shame. Like, if they don't let him back in, then, you know, I don't watch a lot of I can't stand that whole, is your debt keeping you up at night? Yes, I'll read that. Sorry, Rab, I'll read that in a second now. Coogan needs to sort out that intro. It's fucking annoying. Is your debt keeping you up at night? No, it's not. Fuck off. I don't want to listen to that. How does Ben do against US upcoming stars? Not well. No offense. I like Conor Ben, but Ennis and Ortiz, they are leagues. They would beat the crap out of Josh Kelly as well. So they're leagues ahead. What do you think of Boots split with Hay and Groves? I don't know that much about it. But, you know, Boot was kind of in the wilderness after that. Because you remember, we heard so much about Adam Boot. Heard so much about him. He was always on, you know, IFL and all this when he was the guy. And then when he lost those guys, he came back briefly when he had Eubank Jr. And then he was gone again. But now he's back. But, you know, I got a big up Adam Boot, like a great guy. A real stand-up guy, as they say. You know, a real stand-up guy. Give me 2 secs. Just want to plug this in. Phone was about to die. But real stand-up guy. Now, what people overlook about Joyce Dubois is if Dubois keeps hitting Joyce with his best shot, Joyce is not affected at all, that could affect the young. I'd say it would actually affect him, because if you're noted as being a big puncher, you're hitting the guy with your best shots, he's not going anywhere. It might make Daniel Dubois double think things. You never know. I don't think it. I think that Dubois be going to Joe Joyce's body. I think he'll hurt him to the body at some stage. It's not that they're virtue signal, it's that they use to glorify themselves. Yeah, they do that, but I suppose in some sense it's not virtue signaling, but it is in another sense. But yeah, they are. They're trying to glorify themselves by saying X, Y, and Z. And I just don't understand why you bothered. Like none of the other sanctioning bodies do that. WBC are always have to be the odd ones out. I think Joyce will take too much. Well, it's hard, man. It's a hard one. Joyce first 4 rounds, after that he gasses. Now Joyce seems to have a decent enough engine, but it's an interesting one, man. I'm still going with Dubois on points. On points. Canelo versus Spence at 160. Oh, Canelo every time. Canelo every time. Even before the car crash, Canelo. Bruce Lee, G-Man's rocks, as always. You got to get that trending. Still can't get over the fact, yeah. They were teenagers at the time. I think they would have been about teenagers at the time. That's a crazy one. It is crazy. Big up to Robbie. Big up to Rampage. You think Yard stops Arthurs? I agree. I think he does too. Ben looked really great. Takes too many shots, but shows huge potential. You think Kelly schools him? I think Kelly wins, but I think those body shots will cause Josh Kelly some problems because he's good with those body shots. The word is Hearn wants to make Canelo. Man, they've been trying to make that for so long now. They've been trying to make that for so long. They really have. Hashtag J-Man's Watch. Did you see the interview Ben Davison talking about the gloves? I haven't seen it yet, no. I haven't seen it yet, no. I'll actually probably look it up after this because I like listening to Ben Davison interviews. I do. The only interview I seen today was the Adam Smith interview, and it was brilliant. Really good. Just looked at the results. I looked at it too. Yeah, I got 112 points, 110. Yeah, man. It's been the last 2 weeks has been real weak for me in the prediction league. I mean, yeah, the last 2 weeks ain't been great. They ain't been great for me. Just looked at the IBF. What? Man. Those rankings are a fucking joke. Whack, Gorman, even Wilson, all room Babbage. Not Wilson. Never does he beat James Wilson. He ain't beating James Wilson. Dubois will win. Triple G rumored to be fighting John Ryder. I don't think so. I think like he's got his mandatory, and I think that they're going to be adamant about that mandatory. You know, they're going to be adamant about him doing that mandatory. But I'd love to see Triple G versus John Ryder. I think that's a good fight. I think that's a real good fight. You think John Ryder deserves some opportunities after what happened against Callum Smith? That's what I'm thinking, man. I think John Ryder deserves plenty of opportunities after that Callum Smith fight. For my money, he won the Callum Smith fight, but he just didn't get the nod. Apologies, people. I'm just answering a text there. Unprofessional. Use your phone while streaming, but gotta answer those texts. Sonny Edward coming out with the pick. Yeah, that. Those boys. They worry me. Those boys. Not pay-per-view. People just subscribe to BT. Yeah, no, it's not pay-per-view. No, you subscribe, you watch that fight. You subscribe, you watch that fight. Yeah, no, it's a great fight. Buzzy asking who wins, Usyk Fury. I'd pick Fury. I'll definitely pick Fury, but that movement, that style, caused him some issues. Definitely. Yeah, he's Polish. I cannot pronounce the guy's name. No, I'm gonna try. Sazamata. All right. If I want to work in boxing, all right, and I want to work for like a company or I need to know the name. I need to get these names down because the names are always an issue. But I need to get these names down because I can't be called. If I'm like interviewing someone, I can't be like, "Hey, it's yourself." I gotta get the names right. Do you think there'll be an Edwards versus Martinez rematch? Hell no. Big up to T-Torn. Yeah, Teton, I should say. Hell no. I think Charlie Edwards knows he got lucky with that fight, and he ain't gonna want to go back there. Hell no. Dubois knocks Joyce out. I reckon they'll set up Ooh, that'd be interesting. Wadley versus Dubois. Joyce will take him into deep waters. He may very well. You might be right. Eddie said on he was trying to make. Wow, I can't see it, but see if it was with the WBA or WBO, I'd say yeah maybe. But the IBF are real sticklers for mandatories. Real sticklers. I can't see it. You like Thomas Sheridan? Yes and no. Yes and no. I do like him because he's obviously switched on. He obviously knows, a lot about things, and a lot of the things he talks about I definitely agree with. He does come across as a bit of an arrogant prick though. Definitely comes across as an arrogant prick, but I can't fault a lot of the things he talks about in his videos. I can't fault what he's saying. Everything he's said. I don't watch many of his videos. I only watch a couple, but the things he's been saying recently, spot on. But as a man, he is very arrogant. He is very in your face. He wouldn't be someone I'd really like to. I wouldn't be someone I'd spend much time with, to be fair. Everyone is too fast for Joe Joyce. He is, to be fair. Everyone is. Everyone is too fast for Joe Joyce, to be fair. Visual takes, big up. If you're working tonight, big up. I hope I'm getting you through it. Big up to you every time. What do you think of Eddie Hearn saying that? Yeah, oh man. Man, that's bullshit. I hope to God he doesn't. I really do. I hope to God it's not doing that. But yeah, it'd be cracking. It'd be cracking up to St. Pat's FC. See, I'm not a big fan of Irish football. Not a St. Pat's are an Irish soccer team, by the way, if anyone doesn't know. Not a big fan of Irish football. Not a big fan of. I'm not a massive football fan, man. I do watch it, but when you pay, why you pay when you get the same quality for free? Exactly. Well, I was thoroughly happy with the quality I got for the USEC Chisora card. I was thoroughly happy with that. Not choppy at all. Good quality. Commentary for the Selby fight was a bit shit, but other than that, it was brilliant. It was cracking. Cracking. Sorry, but I just won't watch Joyce. Hate the pump out arms and style. Hope the boy KOs him. He might KO him. I'm definitely watching, man. I'm looking forward to it. Why did he ask Adam? What did he ask Adam Smith? He just asked Adam Smith about the hike in the pay-per-view price and say, I thought it was a once-off with AJ Ruiz and this, that, and the other. And Smith was basically saying that they're doing it because they're going to lose money because they won't get a gate and they just want to make as much money as they can. But I was going to pay for it until they hiked the price up. And then I said, I'll watch it somewhere else. I was going to pay for it until they did that. Bernard Dunn is a class pundit. Unfortunately, doesn't get much work. Yeah, Bernard Dunn was always a good pundit, but no, he doesn't get much work. It's a lot of these are. Well, see, Bernard Dunn was never on a major network in the UK or anyone like that. Really, he was always fighting out of Ireland. So, Bernard Dunn is a good guy. Yeah, on RTE back in the day. I remember that. Yeah, it was when boxing in Ireland they actually put shows on. They don't put any shows on in this country now. They put them on in Belfast, to be fair, but that's under the British Boxing Board of Control. It's not under the Irish unions or anything like that. The only guy Tepper doesn't grill like everyone else, he gives it a go, is Solomon. Yeah, Maurice Solomon doesn't really get grilled by anyone, to be fair. Would Prime David Hay beat Usyk of today? Good fight. If I had to pick, I would pick Usyk, but I could easily. No, I would go with Usyk just slightly. If AJ Fury's happens undisputed, I really hope not. I wonder if that fight happens, will AJ be on the zone? I wonder will AJ already be on the zone if that fight happens. Maybe the zone will try and do a little pay-per-view, and it might be like, say you're paying your monthly the zone, they might make you pay like 10 quid or something. Maybe they'll do something like that. I'd say AJ be exclusive on the zone by then, though. That's what I'm thinking. He'll be exclusively on the zone by then. Eddie Hearn should let Bivol fight top rank cards. Yeah, he's doing fucking nothing with Bivol. He really isn't. He's doing absolutely nothing with Bivol. He really isn't. Yeah, Jennings hurt Joyce to the body. Joyce's body seems seems suspect. Big up to G-Man, ban TT0101. Big up to you. Hashtag G-Man's rocks. Wilder's one step away from blaming Rothschilds. Man, I wouldn't even be surprised if he did. I wouldn't even be surprised if he did. That day shook Dubois to the head and Joyce to the body. Joyce has a nice right hand, and yeah, man, both guys. I can't wait, man. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm thinking Dubois on points, but I'm really, really, really looking forward to this. I read that already. Yeah, this guy. You don't want to see. Yeah, I think Canelo stops him if they. I think like the zone want that, but I think Canelo stops him. I think Canelo stops him. Have you seen? Yeah, I have actually. He is looking good. He is actually looking quite good. I really do hope that he cops on and just takes the goddamn training serious. Puts the effort in, puts time in, and actually does. Being with Canelo will actually hopefully do some good. That's what I'm hoping anyway. I like that one actually. I like that. Tom Schwartz versus Tom Little, battle of the unbreakable spirits. Tom Schwartz would still win that. As crude, as heartless as he is, he'd still win that. 55 in the chat. Smash the like button. Big up to you, Tony. Every time, man. Big up to all you guys. Big up to Tony, Devin, Chris, if you're still in here. Big up to all you guys. Appreciate having you all in here. Really do. Great bunch of lads. Big up to all you guys. Yoka versus Hammer on the 22nd. Thoughts on Yoka? When Yoka came along first, I really didn't rate him too much. And, now I'm starting to see, he is a lot better than, he needed to just learn the pro style. I'm more convinced with him now. I was impressed with him last time around. People are questioning his chin. Well, we need to see him get tested. We need to see him get tagged on the chin. Hammer is not a massive puncher, so I can't imagine Hammer is going to cause him too much trouble. He's not going to cause him too much trouble. But you never know. They might put him in there with a big puncher's next fight. We'll see how he goes. What do you say on the fastest sport on grass? Well, I think hurling is the fastest sport on grass, so they say. I'm not a big fan of hurling or GAA, to be honest with you. It's not really for me. That's like a cardinal sin in some counties in Ireland if you're not a fan of because that's the national sport is like GAA. It means Gaelic Athletic Association. And I've never been a big fan of it, and that's like a cardinal sin. Like if you go to other counties and you'd be like, I'm not a real GAA fan, you're like, what? Well, you're not Irish then. I'm like, fuck. Of course I'm fuck. I was born here. Just because I'm born doesn't mean I have to like a sport. It's like when it's like when people say oh, you're not patriotic, you've picked against Niall Kennedy and you're not sold on Katie Taylor. It's like, so what? Just because I'm born in the same country as them doesn't mean I have to be biased. Doesn't mean I have to say it's my channel at the end of the day. It's my fucking life. I can pick and choose what I want to do. I don't like Gaelic, is what it's called. Gaelic football is what it's called. I don't like Gaelic particularly. I'm not really big fan of it. But you don't like boxing, so be it. Right? We don't all have to get along. Fucking, you know what people are like. Some people are like that. They're real patriotic. They're like, no, you have to. No, I don't. The Formella guy was tough as nails. Yeah, he is tough as nails in those type of beatings. Yeah, I can't see him having much of a career, to be honest with you. He could, well, he'll be called in as an away fighter, I suppose, but I can't imagine him lasting very long. In boxing, he just takes, yeah, man, he just loves to get. Harley Quinn. Big up to Harley Quinn in the chat. Just wants to be left alone. Yeah, big up to Harley Quinn every time. Big up to Harley Quinn. Mr. J. It is to laugh, huh, Mr. J? Oh, Mr. J. You're so funny. I got a Harley Quinn little. I'll tell you what I'll do, right? I'm not recording any videos this evening. I'm too tired. I'm going to record some tomorrow evening. And at the start of the video, I'll put it in the intro, right? I'll put the little Harley Finn action figure I got. I got it with Batman and the Joker. But big up to Harley Quinn every time. My favorite is Oliver McCall KO against Lennox Lewis to the class fight. Yeah, that was a good. That wasn't the print. Some people say that's for Lewis could barely stand. That was not a premature stoppage by no stretch. It was good the way he actually timed him onto that right hand. It was very good, very well timed. Yeah, I heard about that. It's not what I thought. When I heard that was postponed first, I was thinking, you know what? It's not. It's something to do with blood tests, which could be that could be an issue, because that could mean anything. that might not be good. Big up to Jeff, salute G and the chat. Big up to you every time, man. Big up to you every single time. Eddie Hearn has a lot of super welterweights now. He does. That's a good division. That's a very good division. You know, it's a very, very, very good division. 154 pounds. Scott Fitzgerald's training for a fight in the new year. Man, he is. Man, I like Fitzy. I like Scott Fitzgerald. I like him as a fighter, but Jesus, he has a. Yeah, he calls himself Madman. He is like he's so erratic. Scott Fitzgerald. Eddie Reynoso said no more Snickers and partying. Well, if Eddie Reynoso say it, fucking go about it. Do it. You know, no more Snickers and partying. Ruiz looked good for the second Asha fight till he got on the scales. They shopped. They had to a bit. Man, he looked like he lost loads of weight. He looked like he was in good shape. And then he steps on the scale and he's like a pudding. He's like, you know, and you know what, right? Ruiz in good shape, where he has the hand speed, has a bit of punching power, and his feet aren't slow. That's a dangerous fighter. That's a very, very, very dangerous fighter. That's a very dangerous fighter. It's a shame it's a shame we didn't see it. You know, as good as AJ was, we got a overweight, fat as a pig Ruiz who just decided. And that was the worry I had. I think Abel Sanchez said that as well, that he was heavily favoring Joshua on points because he said that this guy it's like you're giving someone a couple of $1 million who's not got great discipline and you're asking him to try and be disciplined. It ain't gonna happen. He went ham. See the old tweet from Harley Quinn saying David Price is good an athlete as the Klitschko's and that he'll be number one. Yeah, those old tweets and interviews didn't age well, as you've seen in my WTF video on David Price, which is one of my. I enjoyed that video. I enjoyed making that video. Yeah, those tweets didn't age well. They really didn't. 63 in the chat. People, if you could smash the like button, that's the last time I'll ask. A big up to the Troll Network every single time. Big up to you, man. Big up to you. Big up to you every single time. Hashtag G-Mans rocks. Katie Taylor is one of the all-time greats. Definitely not. In my opinion, no. In my opinion, she has some level of talent there, but nowhere like the way they portray her. No way. No way. Katie Taylor is look at how rigid she is. Look how easy she is to hit. You know? No. Katie Taylor is a good. I'm trying to think, like, she's bigged up a lot in Ireland. She probably has done a lot for boxing in Ireland, but she gets way too much credit. Way too much credit. Way too much. And that's not me hating on her. Like, I mean, like, if she was doing better, if she done things better from a technical point of view, I'd say she's this, she's that. I won't be, look, as you can see, right, by my channel, certain things, which I'm not going to get into, those videos are not on my channel anymore. The fights I done of Katie Taylor, I was covering them because I didn't even enjoy those women's fights. They're not even on my channel anymore. Great channel, great work on your channel. Big up, bro. Man, Lemon Ninja, big up to you, man. Glad you're here. Happy you're here. Hope you enjoy the content. Is Yoka still with Hunter? Or did he fuck it? I don't know, actually. I know Virgil Hunter's health hasn't been great the last few years, but I'm not sure about that, actually. I'm not sure, actually. Manuel Char retired? Hasn't fought since 2017. He's character limited fighter. He's still WBA regular champion. That just goes to show how crap that is. How crap a title that is. He failed the drugs test. He was meant to fight that guy. Fucking what's Kendo? He failed the drugs test, but apparently he still got the regular title. So they really don't give a shit about that title. That title is a throwaway title. It means nothing. But Char would be a good fight for someone who's up and coming. They might do that with Daniel Dubois if he wins to get him a regular title. Do you know what I truly dislike about boxing? There are a lot of good fighters that they don't want to face because they're scared of losing their own. Well, I had Maxie Hughes on interviewing him yesterday. And Maxie Hughes is a great fighter, all right? Very good fighter. He's got 5 losses. He's not afraid to risk his own. And even though he lost, look at him now. He's come back. He's got some good wins. Fighters, look at Jay Harris. Jay Harris was undefeated. He went in there against Cesar Martinez. Yeah, he lost, but he wasn't afraid to risk it. I think that they don't need, look, if you win, like I said, you can lose badly. If you go in there and you get blown out in the first round, it's like, okay, yeah, it's not great. But if you go in there and give a good account of yourself and you lose, but you gave it a good go, it's not the end of the world, and you can always improve. And should look, Jay Harris, look at him. Look him against Martinez. All right, he's done better than anyone has against Martinez. You know, Jay Harris, big up to Jay Harris. He is a real stand-up guy, man. Big up to him for coming on the channel yesterday, actually, and big up to Maxie Hughes as well. Was so happy to get both those guys on. Big up to both them guys. Will you do more WTF happen videos? Oh man, of course I will. You know, that's the plan for those videos. They take a long time to make. They about that actually, while the video took me about an hour, a little over an hour to make. They're going to be monthly, so I'll do them once a month. So October I done Price, Wilder was November. So next month I am thinking of a few different fighters. I haven't settled on one yet. I'm thinking of a few different fighters. Like I said, I haven't settled on one. I've got a couple of active fighters who I'm thinking of, and then a couple of fighters who've retired I'm thinking of. The list is endless, right? The list is endless. But no, they're monthly. So moving forward, once a month, you get a WTF video. Change. Like, I'm not going to say it's going to be like the first Friday of every month. No, it won't be. But you'll get WTF videos irrespective. You know, it could be, I haven't planned on when I'm going to do my December one. Maybe Christmas week, give you a nice little Christmas gift or something. But you'll get one in December, you'll get one in January, and you'll get one every month because I ain't going anywhere. My YouTube channel just hit 3,000K, you know, which is incredible. 3K subs, man, it's fucking amazing. So, you know, I'm going to keep growing. And believe you me, that Wilder video I did, WTF Wilder video, that really, I was surprised how well that did, to be fair. Like, that's at, what, nearly 6,000 views now. I thought that video would do well, but I didn't think it'd do that well. Jesus, man, that video surprised me. I knew it would do well because I thought, all right, that's going to be good, but that really surprised me. I would like to see Hunter take on Breedis Garcia a heavy. So would I, actually. We never got those fights at Cruiser. I'd probably pick, I'd pick him over Garcia. Breedis, oh yeah, that's a good fight, man. I'd go with Breedis too, probably, but that's a great fight. That's a great fight. Hot take: Katie Taylor retires undefeated. I think she'll fight everyone before she retires. Oh, she may very well. Look, I've nothing against Katie Taylor at all. I'm not a big fan of women's boxing. You know, that's why I'm not covering it anymore. You know, because I don't enjoy watching it. I would have much rather watched something else last Saturday than watch those women's fights. No offense. Like, Katie Taylor is a cool girl. Don't know her personally. She seems cool. So does Rachel Ball. Rachel Ball seems like a real cool girl. But I don't enjoy watching women's boxing, so I'm not going to put myself through the mill of watching it. It's just I'm just not gonna do it, and I'm not gonna cover women's boxing because I don't. If there's a fight that I really enjoy, or like, look, I had no regrets about covering Terry Harper's fight against Natasha Jones because it was entertaining. I enjoyed that fight. They'll probably be the only women's fights I'll cover in future if I enjoy it. That's really it. Hello, Billy. Big up. Just tuned in. I want Joyce to win. I've got a few reasons why. He might. Look, it could go either way. I just think that it's going to be very hard to get a decision over Dubois because look at the way BT Sports have been, and you know they've really been giving Joyce a hard time in the lead up to this fight. You know, even back as last year. You know, to be this, that, and the other. Do you enjoy your fighter profile career breakdown reviews? Yeah, I love doing them, man. They're fun. They're fun. They really are fun to do. They're fun to film. I just like making them. So, because next month's December, you're going to get a WTF video, probably Christmas week. I probably will hold off until Christmas week anyway and give you one then. I'm just going back and forth who I'm going to do it on. Like, I've got a couple of guys in my head who I want to do it on. I'm just thinking, will I do it on him? Will I not do it on him? Will I do it on him? I'm just thinking, I have an idea. I'm leaning towards one specific fighter who is active. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to bring him out and do it on him. I ain't going to spoil it, but it should be fun. It should be fun. I love doing those anyway. It's probably Christmas week you'll get it. G-Man, who's the most knowledgeable boxing YouTuber in your opinion? For me, it's Hatman. I would say it's a tie between Beats and Mark. You know, I love man every time. Big up to him every time. And he's right up there as well. But Beats and Mark, unrivaled boxing. I mean, their knowledge just shocks me sometimes when I see. Really does. Really does. None of these women can punch. Also, women get into boxing, all gonna have heart, unlike males. Yeah, yeah. Make stoppage very unlikely. Yeah, yeah. You know, that is what that is. Look, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. What happened to the Spanish guy who completely outboxed achievement, Sergio Garcia? He's still been fighting, but it's sad actually. It's sad because he's not really been getting much opportunities. He's a problem, man. That guy is a problem. He really is. Good fighter, Sergio Garcia. Underrated. Well, look, I think we all expected too much out of Ted Cheeseman. Sergio Garcia, he's got an engine on him. He's got an engine. Has price right? I don't think he has, but I mean, it's hard to say. I don't think he has. I reckon Eddie Hearn will look at Pricey and be like, I've got a fight for you. It's in 3 weeks' time. Here's a couple of $100,000. And Pricey will be just, I'll take it. Big up to Die Hard Casual. Salute to G-Man. Man, big up to you every single time. Every single time. Your next WTF is Kell Brook, I predict. Well, he's definitely, I'm not going to say yeah or nay, but he's definitely under consideration. I'm considering him. I'm not going to lie. I am considering Kell Brook for the next one. I really am. I really am considering Kell Brook for the next one. But I have other ideas in my head as well. So I ain't going to go and say I'm going to, cover this guy, cover that guy. But I'm definitely considering Kell Brook. I am. Right? But that can change. That can change. But I've got 3 other guys. Actually got 4 other guys. I've got Kell Brook is one. I'll admit, yeah, one of them is Kell Brook. Another guy is a guy who's retired. Another guy is a guy who is basically on the verge of retiring. I think if he fights again, I think he might be fighting again actually in the new year. And then the last one is someone, I don't even know what the crack is with the last one. He's all over the shop. Mini Max Boxing, big up to you every single time, lads. There's 66 of you in the chat. I'm sure some of you, or most of you, hopefully you will know Mini Max Boxing. If you haven't, go over there, subscribe to him. When I do, I'm working on doing the next top channels, my top 10 channels on YouTube or top boxing channels. Mini Max Boxing on there. Big up to him. Excellent channel. Go over, give him a sub. I think the fight for Babbage soon is Price. Yeah, Eddie Hearn might try. Before I finish that, he thinks Dubois, UD. You heard it here first. I have to agree with you. I think UD as well for Dubois. So make you think I wasn't reading your comment. But yeah, I think that they'll look at doing Pricey on short notice. They will. I think they will. Hit the like, fam. Yes, hit the like, fam. Honestly, if Price puts him in there for Babbage. But if Pricey boxes long, he causes Babbage a hell of a lot of issues. But look at Pricey. Look at the fighters who really cause Pricey the most. If you get a fighter that Babbage goes swarm all over him, Pricey, you can see him capitulating fairly quick. Price retired. No, he's not retired. He's not retired. Who here seen Christopher Lovejoy fight? What about Trevor Bryan? Both on King fighters. Bryan looks soft. Yeah, he beat BJ Flores, who was pretty tough. Yeah, but so did Harley. Harley Quinn beat BJ. I've seen Bryan fight. He looks all right. He's not fought in 2 years. Lovejoy, I've never seen fight. I seriously doubt the validity of his record. Seriously doubt it. I'm going to flat out say that record 19-0 was bullshit. Because go on his Instagram, right? That Michael Smith guy, me and Mark showed pictures of, right? You go on Christopher Lovejoy's Instagram account. And by the way, I have an Instagram account now, lads. I have it under my real name. But yeah, if you go on his Instagram account, you can see him in poses. He looks like that fucking Michael Smith guy. He does. So no, man. That Christopher Lovejoy's record, I'm doubting the validity of that. Seriously. That Lovejoy resume, that is as fake as a stripper's tits. That's what it is. Anytime, man. Anytime. What's your attitude towards Amir Khan's downfall? The most? Fame, weight jump, money? Probably fame, to be fair. Probably the fame. Amir Khan is very he's out there. Let's just put it like that. He's very out there. He has a weak. That chin was always going to get exposed anyway. It was always going to get cracked anyway, that chin. It was always going to get cracked. And I read this comment here. Sort of miss Vlad. His fights could be boring, but he was great hearing him talk. He always loved to conduct himself, albeit somewhat corporal. He was very corporal. He was very, very, very corporal. That was one thing I didn't like about Vlad. And the psychology of everything, he was just extremely corporal. But yeah, he was when he was on it, like he was against Pulev, he was just great to watch. I used to love watching him. But when he wanted to have stinkers, he could stink the place out real quick. He could stink the place out real quick. All right, we've got at this an hour and 10 minutes, lads. The only reason I'm going to call it here is because I'm knackered. I'm just going to leave it like that, right? I had a really, 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 really shitty night's sleep on Friday. And I didn't really catch a wink yesterday at all because I ended up watching the fights, having a few beers, and then watching a couple of movies till about 3 in the morning. And I was awake at about 9 this morning. So I'm really, really tired. I would go on longer, but I want to rest, basically. So lads, I don't think you're going to get a video tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow morning, certainly not. I've nothing planned. But in the evening or afternoon or late evening, you might get something. When I get home from work, I'll record something maybe. We'll see. But everyone in the chat, I want to big yous all up. Big up to you, man. Denigo, big up to you. Big up to Devon. Big up to Billy. Big up to everyone. Big up to Minnie Max. Big up to Tony. Big up to everyone, man, who's in the chat. So big up to all yous. Before I go, as always, I'll put this in the chat before I go. There you go. Before I go, hashtag G-Man's Rocks. There you go. Big up to all you lads. Lads, we're going to call it quits here. As always, I will stream during the week, as always. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday, one of the days. Maybe Wednesday. You get a stream out of me one of the days. Make no mistake about that. But lads, for now, I'll talk to you. You probably get a video tomorrow at some stage, probably later on in the day. I've nothing planned. I didn't record anything this evening. So if I do, it'll probably be late tomorrow evening. All right. I'll talk to you lads. Peace.